Hi everybody, my name is Mrs. Kovlev and I'm the art teacher over at George Mason Elementary School. Today we will be creating sculptures out of everyday materials of people dancing. Now I absolutely love teaching this lesson and I know my students have had fun doing this lesson in the past. We do a freeze dance and then we create sculptures based off of the frozen person in whatever position that they are in. We are going to talk a little bit about an artist named Keith Haring, who did a lot of artwork in the 1980s. His artwork was very similar to this, and it was bright and bold and showed a lot of movement, people dancing, bright colors, and motion. Okay, this person C is in a position, and it looks like they're in the process of freezing while dancing or moving. So very exciting, fun characters. If you want to know a little bit more about Keith Haring, there's a video attached to this video. There's a link for a video about Keith Haring. Was a very fun artist and did sculpture and clothing and drawings, even drew in the subways of New York City with chalk. So check him out, he's awesome. But our figures today are going to look similar to his. They're not gonna have a lot of facial detail or detail in them. So no eyes, nose, mouth, but they are going to show movement, all right? So before we really begin this lesson, I want to say our I can statement together. I know at George Mason Elementary School, we say our I can statement at the beginning of every single lesson. So I would like to keep that tradition alive and start this lesson off with that. So today, we are going to create a sketch of a figure first. So let's say it together. I can create a sketch of a figure. A figure is a person. A figure usually is a person when we're talking about drawing or sculpture, all right? So I can do that. I feel very comfortable with doing that, and you will be able to as well after I show you everything you need to do, okay? So that's our first I can statement. Now let's break it apart, right? I can create. Create, what's another word for create? Can anyone tell me? Make. Yes, make. I can make a sketch of a figure. I can draw a sketch of a figure. Now, a sketch is not a final drawing. A sketch is like a rough draft if you're writing a story, but it's the first step when drawing a piece of artwork or doing a piece of artwork. So it's going to be our first step in creating our sculpture. Okay, and right here I have my vocabulary words, and you can look at that. A sketch. A sketch is a drawing to get ideas, usually for another work of art. A rough draft, as I just said. Now, a sketch isn't finished, but it gets your ideas down on a piece of paper, and it gives you a pretty good idea of what you want your final artwork to look like. Okay. Now, let's read our second I can statement. Okay. I can create, there's that word again. I can create a 3D, three-dimensional sculpture. Okay. So this is sculpture in the round. This is talking about a sculpture that I could walk around if I wanted to. It has a back, a top, a front, a side, a middle, and it is sculpture in the round. So you can go around it. It's not flat and it's not pressed up against the wall or hung up on the wall, okay? Here's an example of a sculpture in the round. It's not done, but I'm in the middle of working on it, okay? So I can create a three-dimensional sculpture. Right. So first, I'm going to create a sketch of a figure. Now, the sketch of a figure that we're going to be drawing from can be a person dancing. Now, this person dancing is going to be somebody in your house, somebody on YouTube, somebody, your brother, your sister, your mom, your aunt, your grandma, whoever wants to do this with you. And you're going to get them to dance to your favorite music. And when the music goes off, you're going to say, freeze! And they are going to be frozen, maybe 10 seconds. Don't hold them there too long, okay? And you are going to draw a quick sketch of them in that position, right? Whatever position, you can do it a few times just to get your very, very favorite position, okay? You can do it all over your paper or cardboard, okay? Or paper bag, okay? So I know we're at home, so we might not have the same materials as we usually do. So anything works that you can sketch on. I have this paper bag here laying around in my craft room. I also took a piece of notebook paper from my daughter's journal, writing journal that got sent home with her from school. And I also have a piece of cardboard from my cereal box. Okay? Whatever you have laying around handy to draw on works perfectly fine to do sketches. Remember, it's not a final piece of art. But you could do a final piece of art on these as well. So make art out of whatever you have laying around your house. No, I am. All right, so you're gonna sketch somebody dancing. Now this sketch is just a sketch, as we talked about. Here is my gesture drawing, okay, which is a quick drawing of a person in motion. Now this is how the person froze, right? I added a little detail, a little more detail. I really like to draw. Now this is done on paper with pencil. You can also use, once again, my daughter's materials. This is her supply box from kindergarten that got sent home with her. Now I got some crayons in here. I use a crayon. I have a pen. Don't know why she has a pen. Here's a pen. And here's a marker. Any of these materials will work as long as you can write with it. Move those away. So since we are at home, I had to get creative with my dancers. And I wanted to include some of the teachers at George Mason Elementary School and even the principal. So a couple days ago, I had a Zoom meeting with all of them, and they decided to help me dance, right? I have a video of this, and I want to show it to you guys. Can you hear it? Yeah, all right. And freeze! Now I'm going to show you how I would do a gesture drawing. I think I'm going to use my daughter's notebook paper to draw on. And using the idea of this, what Miss Gay was doing, I am going to draw a quick sketch. All right, so I'm opening up the supply box. I'm going to do a quick sketch. So when I sketch, like in this one, I get the head position, I get the arms, I get just the basic shape of the person as they are dancing. Doesn't have to be perfect. With hands and feet, I always tell my students, and I'll tell you guys, just do circles. It will make it easier. We're not concerned with a lot of detail, and you can put in the detail later if you want to. Okay. I really liked how Miss Gay was standing, and I think that's about right. All right, so there's one gesture drawing. I could finish this and work on it and color it in if I really wanted to, but for today's project, I'm just gonna do quick drawing in pencil on notebook paper. All right, so if I go back to my I can statement, I can create a sketch of a figure. Well, I just created a sketch of a figure dancing, which I'm really excited about. And I really appreciate George Mason family helping me out on that video. Now I'm going to move on to my second objective, which is I can create a 3D sculpture. All right. As I said before, we are going to use materials that we would have laying around the house. So the materials that I have laying around the house are Play-Doh. You can make salt dough, which is just flour and salt and water to sculpt with. If you want to make salt dough hard into an ornament or into a hardened sculpture, you cook it at a low heat in your oven. It's something fun to do. And there will be a link to a recipe for that at the bottom of the video. Play-Doh, which is fun, quick to sculpt, easy to sculpt gesture, and then aluminum foil or tin foil. Now I've already created this sculpture out of aluminum foil. I took about 3 pieces and I just balled it up and then I sculpted it into the shapes that I really wanted. All right, so I'm gonna look with my eyes at my gesture drawing while I'm sculpting. So I'm gonna take the aluminum foil and I'm going to start, and it's loud and crinkly. I'm gonna start, and I usually like to start with the head. Okay. And then I can probably get away with one leg with this, the head, the body, and a leg. Okay. And her legs are just standing straight in this drawing I did. I'm gonna take some more aluminum foil. Right now it looks like a dragonfly and there's some wings. You can see. Let me pull it up a little bit more. So I'm going to mold it, shape it, bend it. Now this would be an incredibly large arm if it was just an arm. There you go. I'm going to bend it. Now, oh, it fell off. You're going to pinch it. You can cross the arms across each other so that they stay in the position that you want. And you're just trying to mold it and shape it into something that resembles a figure in motion. Now one arm was up and one arm is down in my sculpture. Now I have one leg, so I probably need at least one more piece of aluminum foil for this project. All right. And you can keep adding. You could do all sorts of different sculptures in different positions. So that leg is so big. I could take scissors to make it smaller, or I could just rip it off, depending. I had scissors right there, so I just cut it with scissors. Okay, so here is my sculpture from a sketch of a figure dancing. I think it turned out pretty good. Thank you so much, everybody. And like I said at the beginning of the video, if you want to know or learn a little bit more about Keith Haring and his artwork, which inspired this lesson, there's going to be a link at the bottom of the video. And enjoy sculpting.